Man, what's up, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video, and this gonna be a good one. And a lot of times, like I'm probably better suited, like question and answer, but just talking into a camera and siphoning through my thoughts, I don't feel like they kind of flow in a linear, trajectory, if you will. Got my thoughts be all over the place, just analyzing every little increment of the game. So life itself and its experiences have kind of made me like a sociologist by default for navigation purposes. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to come through with a quick one. And I'm going to talk about Hispanics and what I seen today and hypergamy, right? Now, in the manosphere, space, the brothers talk about, female nature, hypergamy. She's always looking for a better option, blah, 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 blah. So to combat that, just be the best version of yourself to the best of your ability and understand she still might leave for whatever reason. Okay, cool. Do I believe that to be the case here in Babylonian society in practicality? Yes. Right. So it'll give you the best option of, you know, just being able to navigate the quote unquote dating scene, which I don't participate in because it don't make no sense to me. Um, and that's the level of hypergamy in that respect. Now I'm gonna try to tie all this stuff spiritually, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ping back and forth. Now the Most High designs things to be the way they are. So why would He design women like that? Because Babylon has essentially corrupted or inverted everything. Like everything's butt backwards here. And it's been like that so long, and we're in this environment that the butt backwards stuff actually seems normal and the way to go about it. So when you try to do things the quote unquote right way, you look crazy. But nobody else who operates that, these other nations, look crazy. They're actually usurping us in Babylon. Granted, um, has maybe more agendas been rolled out against us socially? Yes. Um, and I wonder, is that from what I understand, you know, blacks are supposed to be the tribe of Judah, which Yeshua, Jesus, come from. So maybe spiritually we have to go harder. One, because we beg for his crucifixion, and we pick Barnabas over him, and maybe that's an aspect to it, right? Also, from my research, I believe Hispanics were of the northern tribes kingdom, but I think they went into exile first, or they left first, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm wondering, like, were their sins not as egregious as ours, and maybe like their slavery wasn't as harsh as ours? Is it a combination of that, and because spiritually, because we come from the line of Judah, is it harder? Just like if you look at the Dominican Republic and Haiti, they both sit on the same landmass, but the economics is different. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying, say I'm gonna ping back and forth. Um, the Most High designs things the way they are. So why would He create women with hypergamy, with this supposed desire for a better option, or always looking for a better option, or being haughty, right? But and I forgot who said this, but righteous hypergamy is the desire for a woman to see her man elevate, hence her elevate as he elevates, right? So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But here's my question. Does hypergamy exist in the Hispanic community? And this is why I say this, right? Because I would like to see some Hispanic. I've never seen any Hispanic manosphere creators, and I ain't talking about like Puerto Rican or Dominican, um, or those who have been more Americanized or have more of a Babylonian influence on them, their culture, whatever, whatever, whatever. The Hispanics I see, I don't think they're Dominican or, because I can't really tell, or Puerto Rican. I think they're more Central American, like Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, like that. Um, Not to be judgmental, I think they have harder features, right? But I've never seen Hispanics like arguing in the street. Now I've seen like they might argue, like dudes might argue or something. but then they'll squash and be right back together the next day. It's not like they're plotting on each other. I've never seen, now granted, I'm not immersed in their culture, but I haven't seen the evidence of like a Hispanic dude wanting to creep with another Hispanic man's wife. I've never seen that. And they've had a harder road here. Like when I used to waterproof basements, like the dude, he was nervous because we got pulled over one day. And I'm like, yo, what you nervous for? I'm like, you got a license, right? He's like, yeah. He said, but I'm not supposed to be here. So I'm like, well, how'd you get a valid Maryland license and you're still illegal? And he told me he couldn't tell me. So I was like, respect, I get it. But he did tell me of how, I think they were Guatemalan, or Honduras rather. And he said like they hopped a train to get to Mexico and then hopped another train riding on the side or on the top of it or inside of it, whatever, however long that took, to get to somewhere in Mexico, to then meet with whoever they met with, to then get supplies and water, to then walk across the desert for days, to then get picked up somewhere in Arizona or Texas. And I think they went somewhere in the Midwest first before they made to Maryland. And now these people are thriving. You can't even get black people to walk to the store without it being an argument or whatever. And I think the comfortability here has made us more docile. But you talk about walking halfway up the hemisphere. And from what I see, not just see in countenance, but what I pick up from the energy, there's no residual effect. It's not like they're still traumatized by that. I don't see it. I don't feel it when I'm in proximity. You know what I mean? Like the one day they were building a new house in the development my mother lives in. So I so happened to be looking out the window. And a Hispanic guy had picked up, some debris or whatever. And his lady hops out with the baby in hand and helped him. And I thought that was so beautiful. Could you even imagine that happening in the black community? Granted, I understand, the agenda, the male versus female and the Willie Lynch stuff and, all that kind of crap. I get all that. But in the age of information, I refuse to believe that as a mass of people we're ignorant of this. We still choose to operate in it for whatever reason. And that's why I'm losing my love for black people under that assumption, because it's like now we've become complicit in our own demise. It's like having an army that's shooting at each other because the other army convinced half the army to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just the way I'm set up, I find it to be almost like treasonous. I couldn't picture any other race of people who would demean their men or their women as a whole, taking just pride in being harlots. Like there was a time when that was frowned upon, but no longer. And it's like we now, as black people, we now take pride in shameful things. We take pride in dealing drugs to our own people. And then we get locked up and start over from nothing. You know what I'm saying? We take pride in breaking up homes and I slept with this woman's husband. But if you say, you know what I'm saying? Well, I like the man too. Why don't we just share him and be on the same accord and practice polygyny and da-da. Nah, I don't want to do that. But I'll do it if she don't know and I get off on the sneakiness of it. But I was just curious, like, is it because of the culture? Because now they're in another culture, but they still held on to their culture. Even in, of course, everybody knows I went to, drug treatment in Baltimore City. And stopped by. Now, there's a great big Hispanic movement. Like the vast majority, the Hispanics are the majority over white and black. But they're starting businesses. And I wonder if some of them really actually have addiction issues or they got the information from whoever. And I see how I can utilize this. So I'll do it. 'Cause I don't have to pay rent. You see what I'm saying? Like black people, like I was talking to one, because we have a homeboy, a main man homeboy, who actually sits on the board. So he rubs shoulders with, the city folk, John Hopkins, Under Armour, you know, the people who donate millions of dollars to this particular institution. And they just think you can't tell nobody what to do. But typically when black people get in a position of power, they just assimilate to the power structure. Because if you don't, they'll just fire and put another Negro in there. I get it. But I'm like, they had this initiative buying houses in the city. So I'm like, why can't he come down to the Brotherhood and say, Melvin, here, no carpentry. We all got $1. We can still live here. And then on Saturdays, Melvin's going to teach us how to do carpentry. And we're going to pool our money and we're going to buy the block that way. It's unheard. And I understand black people can't work together. But at what point, and now it reigns true. Like I feel, and I routinely use this analogy of Jeremiah when he wept for the people. I think I said that in the last video. Like, the solutions to our problems can be easily implemented, but mentally, and even before I knew we were like Hebrews by descent, I noticed a lot of like similarities between us and the people in the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if you took all black people out of America and let's say put them in Texas and, okay, you govern yourself now. We'd have to go back into bondage because we can't govern ourselves. We're probably the biggest case of Stockholm syndrome. We'll complain about what it is, police brutality, economics, but we won't do anything to come together to make it better. And then we'll complain to white folk. Like Frederick Douglass said, we don't really want freedom. We want a more comfortable enslavement. I don't want my own business and responsibility. I want to raise at my job that I can't pass down. And it'd be racking my brain, bro. Like, and then individually, I'm hell-bent on doing just that. But it is hard when, you don't have the support, or you have to, like, seek out all the information on your own. You know what I mean? Or those who are in position that or you got a good rapport with. It just don't happen. I get people busy, but they be thinking I'm competition, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just saddening, bro. Like I be making jokes online for over the last decade. I've been seeing the writing on the wall about trying to become Hispanic, because I want family. I want a significant other that I don't have to be overly concerned. It's just gonna up and leave me one day because she's seen a music video. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm really fooled it now. I want the bill. Like, I don't see the women stripping the men of their children. And they get social service and stuff too, but they utilize it to propel them to a better situation. We'll get some food stamps or some child support and act like we done got it made, or, you know what I'm saying? We must have really, 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 like, made God mad, yo. And even now, trying to get back to, I guess, living by the law, statutes, and commandments, and, just to, not appease him, but just to please him, right? And then, you don't really know if you're doing it right. Because, if you don't have the information, then you'll seek out those that you think. And then you get like 20 different answers on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would he judge us, like, based on it? Like they say, in the word, he winks at our ignorance. But I can't afford to be ignorant. I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Seeking ye shall find. But sometimes you just get tired of seeking. Like, man, I just do the best I can, bro. Because it is disheartening. Well, for me anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I got, tangible solutions and ideas, but I'm just so hard pressed to get them off the ground, and then maybe it's not meant. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's just sad, like, and it's not like not in the covetous, like, oh, I see this man, like, oh, I want that man wife. It's not that. I want the object of what he has, not that thing in particular. Like, I want a wife for myself that's no one else's wife, and do what they do. Because it's beautiful, it's righteous, it's like Arabs do it, Chinese do it. You know what I'm saying? We the only ones who, we lift up those who destroy our community. And then let's say you break off and got your own dream vision. The same degenerate people will talk about you when they ain't got no business talking about nobody. The crazy people call you crazy. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot of projection. I'm just tired of it, bro. But man, let me get up off of here, man. I just wanted to come through with a quick one. I'm going to holler at y'all. Ooh, ah.